Okay, imagine you're going to a lonely island on a rescue boat, and you can only take 3 bottles of wine with you. Which wines would you choose?
You mean which champagne?
Okay.
And which vintage? No, I think champagne was come to top of my list because
Okay.
this island is probably going to be quite a warm place, right?
Possibly, yes.
No, champagne is the wine for the spirit and the soul, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think that in an emergency situation, I'd be looking for a meditation wine.
Good. What's probably the best bottle of wine you've ever tasted or enjoyed?
Well, I could quote some famous wine like the 1947-49 Cheval Blanc or Chateau Latour, something like that. But it wouldn't mean a lot because by now, there's probably 2 bottles left. So I would say that I'm going to be difficult. I'm going to question the word best because, as I was saying, I don't think there are any absolutes in wine. There is no best. It's the wine that you are in love with for whatever reason at the time you drink it.
Very good. Now it's the difficult one. Who are the 3 most relevant persons in winemaking? What do you think?
Well, there's a great cult of personality in wine these days, and the magazines are full of portraits of winemakers because people basically are more interesting than just vineyards or cellars. So it's a much better picture to put in your magazine to have a person. And if it's a good-looking young person, well, that's better still. There are enologists who have been a great influence. People who really changed everything, like the late Émile Pénaud, for example, in Bordeaux, who was the first person who really made the world's winemakers look at wine from a scientist's point of view. And he said, but you must be careful with obvious things like fermentation temperature, yeast. And he made people think in scientific terms. Now, of course, all these enologists are trendsetters, and they have a lot of influence. People like Michel Rolland is very well known, and so on and so on. Delanoncor is very distinguished. Only people very close to the wine business see their influence, and a lot of people probably copy or think they copy what they're doing. But really, it's the vineyard, it's the conscientiousness, the conscience of the grower. It's his ambition rather than advisors, I think, who result in a great bottle in the end. And some people get all the publicity, but there are 100 times as many people just doing a good job and giving enormous enjoyment without maybe getting scores.
Okay, good. Final questions. We're here in Eisenstadt. Behind you, there's the Esterhazy Palace. What's your opinion on Esterhazy wines? We're gonna have some bows here, please.
Right. Well,
I think you're already familiar with them.
I have tasted some. I don't know the stories. So I'll answer the question.
Okay.
I think it's wonderful that a great, famous, historic name like Esterhazy, which has been out of the wine world for presumably years and years, has come back in. It appeals to me as a historian because I love these kind of connections. It's very clear what it's about. This is, we're going to look for high quality. So far we're getting high quality. It's very early days yet for this company. They are showing what can be done in Burgenland with the grape varieties that are already here. And I'm hugely excited by it, quite honestly. But so long as the Burgenland is allowed to call itself the Burgenland, and I think the Austrian government is rather confused by this. I think these DACs are something completely crazy. I mean, who wants to know about which part of the Burgenland? I mean, we wine lovers around the world are quite simple people. We want to go straight to the wine we want. We don't want to be misled by governments inventing new names for wine. We know perfectly well if we want a Blaufränkisch from the Burgenland from a producer, that's all we need to know. We don't need other label words that are imposed on the producer by the government. So I'm afraid, we don't seem in a very pro-government mood today, that just as I was saying, the German government really screwed up its wine industry. I would hate to think that the Austrian government was going to do something similar.
Hopefully not.
Well,
Thank you very
right.
much.